We'll call to order the City of Douglasville City Council Legislative Work Session for today, which is Thursday, January the 4th. Happy New Year to everyone. It's great to see you. And we'll have our invocation that will be done by Reverend E. John Citizen of Spirit Life Church of God. And after that, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll ask that you would stand for all of these things, these two things, led by our Councilwoman, Dr. LaShawn Burdanley. Please stand for the invocation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council, citizens. Heavenly Father, we come in the name of Jesus. We ask that you bless this chamber this evening, Lord. Bless the mayor, bless the council, bless its citizens. God, as we do business in this chamber, bless it, God, that the citizens will be blessed because of the work done in this chamber tonight. We thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Pastor Citizen and Dr. Burdanley, for leading us in the pledge and the invocation. We will do announcements and presentations, and I will go over the protocol, and after that, we will do our special presentation tonight, which is the swearing in, the oath of office for the newly elected council member and returning council members. I'd like to again welcome you to the City of Douglasville's legislative work session. This is a work session where agenda items are presented for discussion and no official action will be taken tonight. Official action will be taken on the items discussed tonight on Monday, January 8th at 6 p.m. If the business you are here for is not listed as an agenda item, there will be ample time under the agenda item entitled Comments from Citizens and Delegates, where you can discuss your business. There are a few protocol items I'd like to discuss with you tonight, and if you have any questions after I finish, you're welcome to ask. I'd ask that you keep your comments and presentations on a professional level, dealing with the facts that are important for this governing body to make their decision. We will not accept comments that are considered by the chair to be a personal attack on any individual or groups of individuals. You'll receive a warning from the chair if you deviate from this requirement, and after the second time, we'll ask that you leave the chambers. Only one person speaking at a time. Please do not applaud or react to the speakers or talk to people in the audience or cheer or have conversations with others, as this will be disruptive to this meeting. If you have a pager or cell phone or any electronic devices, we'll ask that you turn those off or put those in silent mode so that they will not be disruptive during the meeting. And the meeting will go as follows. The agenda item will be handled as follows. The committee chair will read the agenda item, then the person representing that agenda item or the applicant will make his or her presentation and give the council an opportunity to ask questions. After that, the committee chair will ask for comments or statements from the audience. There is a maximum of 30 minutes for and 30 minutes in opposition, and each person has 5 minutes to speak. Prior to approaching the podium, please give your card to the city clerk or the deputy clerk, Ms. Vicky. And at the podium, please state your name and address for the record and whether you're in favor or against the item. Each person has one opportunity to speak, so if you forget something, I'm sorry, you have to charge it to your heart. You can't speak again, that's it. This meeting is not a question and answer format. It's not a debate format. We're just here to gather information. And we ask if you have any printed information or materials that you should have submitted those in advance to the city clerk, but if you did not have an opportunity to do that, we'll certainly accept it, but you would need to give it to the city clerk. Okay? So the first item is item number 4, administer the oath of office to the newly elected council member, Mr. Terry Miller, Ward 1, and will be done by his beautiful wife, Dr. Denise Overfield. So if you would mind coming forward at this time. Podium and the microphone there. Yes, sir, you may begin.
I do solemnly affirm
I do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully perform the duties of council member of this city
I will faithfully perform the duties of councilman of this city
and that I will support and defend the laws of the city and the charter thereof,
I will faithfully defend the laws and the charter of the city thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and the United States of America.
as well as the laws of the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Isn't that sweet? He sealed it with a kiss. Thank you so much, Dr. Denise Overfield, and welcome Councilman Miller. Miller T, and Miller M. How are we going to distinguish? Very good. We'll have item B, which is administer the oath of office to re-elect my councilwoman, Dr. LaShawn Bird Danley, and that will be led by our honorable judge, Barbara. Oh, there she is. Judge Caldwell. Oh, he says that he's going as well. So at the same time, Ward 3, Post 1, and Ward 3, Post 2 will be led by our Judge Barbara Caldwell for Dr. LaShawn Bird Danley and my Councilman Samuel Davis. Happy New Year, Judge. Good to see you.
Hand on this one. And I want you to repeat your name after I say aye. All right? I
Dr. LaShawn Bird Danley,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully perform the duties
that I will faithfully perform the duties
of council member of this city,
of council member of this city,
and that I will support and defend the laws of the city
that I will support and defend the laws of the city
and the charter thereof,
and the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
as well as the Constitution and the laws of the state of Georgia
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
God bless you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
$1,000.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations, Dr. Bird Danley. Councilman Davis?
I don't know, Sam. All right. Got a middle name, right? Do.
No middle name.
I
I, Samuel Davis,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully perform the duties
I will faithfully perform the duties
of council member of this city,
of council member of this city.
that I will support and defend the laws of the city
I will support and defend the laws of this city
and the charter thereof,
and the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
and the United States of
and the
America.
United States of this America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, holding you to that. Congratulations.
All right now, he meant that thing, okay. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Judge Caldwell. Congratulations, Councilman Davis. And lastly, I'm not going to say the baby, the youngest of our team, but not in wisdom, just in age, will administer the oath of office to re-elect Councilmember Michael J. Miller, and that'll be led by Judge Dusty Hightower. So excited to see you, Judge Hightower. Yes, sir, we're used to seeing you downtown for many years. Welcome back, former representative.
Have Ms. Miller help us with this.
Okay. Oh, that's sweet. Newlyweds.
Get everybody involved.
Yes, yes, the newlyweds. Welcome, Miss Nicole. Good to see you.
I, Michael Miller,
I, Michael Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
perform the duties of city council member,
perform the duties of city council member
that I will support and defend
and that I will support and defend
the laws of the city and the charter thereof,
the laws of the city and the charter thereof,
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia
and the United States of America.
and the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Just get a picture of that.
Thank you, Judge Hightower. Welcome back, Attorney Miller. This is something that's unprecedented. We have 4 council members, 3 returning without any opposition and 1 person running without any opposition. I think that speaks to their character and to the job that they've done, that the citizens trust them, and I'd like to give them a hand and thank them for their service. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all showing honor where honor is due. Now we'll go on to item E, which is nomination and election of the Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Douglasville for 2018. I will open the floor for a motion for Mayor Pro Tem. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I nominate Terry Miller.
Okay, we have a nomination on the floor for Terry Miller. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion for, it's been properly motioned and second to accept Terry Miller, Councilman Terry Miller as Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like a motion that we, Richard Siegel.
Okay. So we have Richard Siegel and Terry Miller. How we do this, Ms. Littlefield?
Take all the nominations, if you will, please,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then ask for a vote on each one.
Okay.
In order to elect a mayor pro tem tonight, the candidate must receive a majority of the council votes. The mayor has no vote, even if there's a tie.
Yes, ma'am. So I don't have a vote. Okay. This is your colleague. So the first motion was for Councilmember Terry Miller. All those in favor of Councilman Miller, so that the clerk can see, please raise your hand.
Madam Mayor, point of order.
Yes, sir.
Are we finished with nominations? Have you closed
Oh, I
those?
apologize. I apologize. Is there another nomination?
Yes, I was going to nominate Councilman Mike Miller.
I apologize. Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. Let me write it down. So we have 3, Councilman Terry Miller, Councilman Richard Siegel, this is good, and Councilman Mike Miller. Thank you so much, Councilman Adams. I apologize. Are there any other motions, any other nominations for Mayor Pro Tem? Okay, now I will close. Okay, I'll close the floor for nominations, and we have 3. All of those in favor of Councilman Terry Miller, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you so much. All of those in favor for Mayor Pro Tem for Councilman Richard Siegel, please raise your hand. Thank you. Oh. Okay. You have them, City Clerk, Madam Manager, City Manager? Okay, and lastly, but certainly not least again, all of those in favor of Mayor Pro Tem being Councilmember Michael Miller, please raise your hand. So we have a tie.
Mr. Miller, can you have the hands up again for Mr. Miller? Okay. right. So we have those recorded as for Councilman Terry Miller, you have 3 votes in favor, as well as for Councilman Richard Siegel, you have 3 votes in favor. And for Councilman Mike Miller, you have 1 vote in favor.
Okay, so we have a tie. We need to vote again. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Ernie?
There's no election tonight so far.
Okay. I apologize. What'd you say, Ms. Littlefield?
You may vote again tonight if you wish to do so,
Oh,
or
yes, ma'am.
at another meeting.
Oh, no, we'll vote again tonight. We need a mayor pro tem. Okay, so we have the top 2 vote getters, which is a tie. We're in a runoff for mayor pro tem. So all of those in favor of voting for Councilmember Terry Miller.
Mayor?
Yes.
Mayor, would you take nominations again, please?
Yes, ma'am. Open the floor for nominations for mayor pro tem. Is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, I nominate Councilman Richard Siegel.
Okay, we have a nomination for Councilman Richard Siegel. Is there?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to nominate Terry Miller.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilmember Miller. We're nominating Miller T. Are there any other nominations? Okay, the floor is closed for nominations. Okay, so it's been properly moved in second to nominate Richard Siegel and Terry Miller for Mayor Pro Tem. All of those in favor of Richard Siegel, Councilman Richard Siegel being Mayor Pro Tem, please raise your hands. Okay. All of those in favor of Councilmember Terry Miller for Mayor Pro Tem seat, please raise your hands.
Mayor, for those 2 council members, for Councilman Richard Siegel, you have 4 members voting in favor of, and then for Councilman Terry Miller, you have 3 members voting in favor of. Mr. Richard Siegel receives the majority of the vote in this motion.
Okay, thank you so much. But don't move, are you moving on the end? He's in the hot seat. Okay, let's give him a hand. The new Mayor Pro Tem for 2018, Richard Siegel. That was hotly contested. There must be some extra gold or something in that seat.
We were gonna have to arm wrestle.
No, sir, you wouldn't have to arm wrestle. Okay, as Mr. Siegel is taking his seat, we have the announcements by myself for city council committees and committee chairs and co-chairs for the membership for 2018. And I have decided to create a new committee, which is communications. And as I read who the chair and co-chairs are, before I do that, I'll just briefly give a synopsis of what is entailed in that committee. So for 2018, public safety is inclusive of alcohol beverage license, animal control, code enforcement, 911, fire safety, public health, special use of city streets, parades, marches, street closings, traffic control, and unusual occurrences, disasters. And so public safety chair is Councilmember Samuel Davis. The vice chair is Councilmember Chris Watts. Community and Economic Development Committee, the City Conference Center operations, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Downtown Development, Economic Development Activities, Historic Preservation, Livable Centers Initiative, Main Street Program, Opportunity Zones, Parades and Special Events in the downtown area, Relations with Housing Authority and Urban Redevelopment Agency, and the Community and Economic Development Chair is Councilman Richard Siegel, Vice Chair Councilman Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
You're welcome. Planning and Development Committee is inclusive of annexations, Board of Adjustments and Appeals, change in future land use plan and map due to rezoning and annexations, city comprehensive plans, engineering and inspection department, long-range aspects of planning and development, major updates for the future land use plan, operational aspects of service delivery, House Bill 489, Planning and Zoning Department, rezoning, smart growth issues, the Development Code, the zoning ordinance, as if that weren't enough, and growth management issues. So the Planning and Development Committee is chaired. Planning and Development is Councilmember Mark Adams, and the Vice Chair is Councilmember Terry Miller. We'll move on to Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation Committee is inclusive of holiday events in the city parks, park maintenance, park programs, recreational programs, relationship with Cultural Arts Council and the West Pines Golf Course, and the other 5 parks that are included in the city. I reconvened the meeting after our exercise to go outside in the weather. From my understanding, it was triggered from the parking deck elevator, so there really isn't a fire, and we apologize for the inconvenience. So I was talking about the Parks and Rec Committee and said the 5 parks, and that would be chaired by Councilmember Chris Watson. Vice Chair is Councilmember Samuel Davis. Finance Committee, acquisitions of property by the city, appropriations, capital budget and projects, city, county tax agreements, disposal of property by the city, financial management, fiscal aspects of the city employee benefits program, employee compensation and retirement programs for employees and elected officials, fiscal aspects of service delivery strategies, which is House Bill 489, investments, local option sales tax, operations and management budget, maintenance budget, purchasing policy, service delivery strategy, taxation, and uniform chart of accounts. Finance Committee Chair is Councilmember Mark Adams. Vice Chair is Councilmember Richard Siegel. Information and Technology, that is the alarm system. What happened with the alarm? The alarm system and audio-visual facilities in city buildings, cities' radio communication systems, computer information systems, emergency warning systems, and internet and server systems. And the Information Technology Committee Chair is Councilmember Terry Miller, and Vice Chair is Councilmember Richard Siegel. Maintenance and Sanitation Committee is inclusive of Keep Douglasville Beautiful, maintenance operations of city buildings and city property, including the city cemetery, recycling, sanitation services, commercial and residential solid waste management, street and sidewalk maintenance, and vehicle utilization by the city government. Maintenance and Sanitation Chair is Councilmember Mike Miller. Vice Chair is Councilmember Mark Adams. Transportation Committee. That transportation is inclusive of traffic planning, transportation construction projects, transportation financing, transportation liaison with county, regional, state, and federal transportation agencies, and transportation planning. The Transportation Chair is Councilmember LaShawn Burr-Danley. The Vice Chair is Councilmember Mike Miller. Personnel and Organization Committee, Ethics and City Government, Health and Wellness and City Government, operational aspects of City of Douglasville employee position control, operations aspects of city's employee benefits program, employee compensation, and pay and classification study. Personnel Chair, Personnel and Organization Chair is Councilmember Richard Siegel. Vice Chair is Councilmember Chris Watts. You're welcome. Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee is Atlanta Regional Commission, City Clerk's Office, elections, code updates, Douglas County Government, Douglasville, Douglas County Water and Sewer Authority, general operations of the city, and Georgia Municipal Association. I wonder who that could be. That's the attorney. Councilmember Mike Miller is the chair, and vice chair is Councilmember LaShawn Burr-Danley. Education and Training Committee, that is the customer service training, anti-discrimination training, anti-harassment training, safety training, training for overall improvement of City of Douglasville operations, and state-required training and other training activities for the city's elected officials. And the chair for that committee is Councilmember Samuel Davis, and vice chair is Councilmember Dr. LaShawn Burr-Danley. And the new committee that I've created based on our needs is the Communications Committee, and that is has City TV, the website, social media, press release and announcements, and the branding and marketing information and logos. And that is chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis, and vice chair is Councilmember Terry Miller. So having named all of those chairs, now we will go to the agenda. And the first committee report is Public Safety Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Yes, ma'am. I have a couple of items, Madam Mayor. Request for alcoholic beverage license for the retail package sale and wine and malt beverage and spirits liquor at the following establishment. Proposed licensing ENT Company 001 LLC, DBA, Corner Package Store located 5990 Fairman Road. Proposed agent outlet manager, Tarbiton Patel. The required fees have been paid into the finance department. Will the applicant please come forward, please? Thank you. Thank you. State your name and current address, please, ma'am. You have to speak just a little loud, okay?
To do it right here.
1464 Steam Engine Way, Conner, Georgia,
Conyers.
30013. Amaza Pattai.
Okay, and
And my name is Christine Choi from KC Licensed Paralegal, 3863 Postal Drive, Duluth, Georgia, 30096. And he's the interpreter.
okay.
Okay.
My name is Mohan Thakare, and I'm the son. She's my mom. And I'm the interpreter, if needed. I live in the same address, 1464 Steam Engine Way, Conyers, Georgia, 30013.
Before I have questions, any question from the council?
Yes, Mr. Davis, just
Yes,
I
sir.
want to make sure that two things. One, has our applicant operated a store, a package store, and are you aware, ma'am, of the ordinances and the laws that govern the sale of that spirituous wine, malt beverage, and liquor as far as the requirements on a state level and local?
त्यांचं म्हणणं असं आहे की तुम्ही बिझनेस सुरू केलेला आहे का सध्यापर्यंत आणि तुम्हाला लायसन्स मिळण्यासाठी वेळ आहे की काय आहे की कसं काय चालू आहे तुमचं बिझनेस टेकओव्हर झालेला आहे का
नाही चालू केलेलं नाही अजून बिझनेस लायसन्स मिळाल्यावर करू मात्र
Okay, no, we'll follow all the laws of the state as well as the city council and city of the Douglasville. The business will be taken over as soon as we receive the state as well as the city license when all the legal licensing requirements are completed.
Okay,
The ordinance was actually translated by Jay to son to the mother, so she understood everything. We already went over all the ordinance with my client.
Okay, my first question was, have you operated a business of this type prior?
अशा प्रकारचा बिझनेस पूर्वी ऑपरेट केलेला आहे का
नाही
No, not this type of business.
Thank you. Mr. Davis?
I have a question. Are you the translator? Can you translate for them?
Oh, I'm not the translator. I don't speak the
Son.
same language. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm from licensed company. We do the application for our
Sons.
clients.
So the question I asked one of the council, have you ever operated a package store like this before?
Her answer was no. She has a co-owner partner. She has experience in this business, both liquor store and gas station, and she's the one who's gonna be running the whole business mainly.
Will she be coming back so we can meet with her?
Ms. Pope knows about this, but our application was actually on agenda for December, but I think there was an error on the city side. She actually she's in India for a big family wedding, and she already informed us that it's okay for her to attend this hearing. But she has most experience in this business, and she's the running person.
How many employees do you have?
तुमचे किती सध्या तुमच्याकडे किती नोकर आहेत तिथे तुम्ही धंदा सुरू केलेला आहे का
धंदा चालू केलेला नाही
We have not taken over the business, so we do not have any employee as of today. That's what she said.
And how would you go about training your employees once you
ट्रेनिंग कसं काय देणार आहे एम्प्लॉईला, म्हणजे तुम्ही काय करणार आहे, तुमचा प्लॅन काय आहे बिझनेसमध्ये?
आम्ही त्यांना आमचे नियम समजून सांगू. प्रत्येक ग्राहकाचा आय डी तपासून घ्यायला लावू आणि 21 वर्षाच्या खालील मुलांना लिकर विकणार नाही असं समजून सांगू. या नियमात जर कोणी भंग केला तर आम्ही ते जॉबवरून काढून टाकू.
Okay. So all the employees will be trained according to all the laws and regulation of the city of the Douglasville as well as the state of Georgia. All IDs, 100% IDs will be taken at the sale. And if any employee found selling alcohol to underage, their job will be terminated right away without giving any second opportunity.
And also, I would like to let you know, our company, we provide tip program. We have a certified trainer in our office, and it's part of our service. So once they take over the business, we train the employees, the tip program, and that is the official training program.
Okay, thank you. That's what I want to hear. Any other questions?
Yes, sir,
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Who's the daily proprietor? Is it your
Ms.
partner
Patel.
that's out of town, that's in India?
Yeah, Ms. Patel.
Ms.
She's
Patel.
the outlet manager.
Who's here tonight, or,
She's the part owner. There are two owners, Ms. Patel and
Yes.
The mother, and she's here tonight. But Ms. Patel is the outlet manager.
okay. So it's two Patels, is what you're saying?
It's not two Patel. The outlet manager is last name Patel.
Which is, where it's before us?
No, she's Lathabai Thakare.
Okay. Is Miss Wright, Michelle Wright, or someone here from Planning Department, can you tell us what transpired in December, why we did not hear the case
Mayor,
in December?
Mayor, I
where
believe
we-
that's handled by finance. I'm familiar with the situation. What happened is that the finance department put the ad into the paper, but there was an error, and so it had to be run again. That caused this company to have their hearing delayed until now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Attorney Littlefield. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions?
Mr. Chairman, my understanding is the lady before us is applying to be the manager or the alcohol. She's applying to be to hold the license as the manager. Is that how that works?
She's the agent.
I understand that she's one of the partners that owns NT Company 001 LLC, that she is one of two people who own the licensee corporation.
And the other person is actually going to be the day on. I guess my question is then, why has the other person not applied to be the manager versus Ms. Patel before us?
She already did. Ms. Patel already did.
This is not Ms. Patel. Ms. Patel's absent tonight.
Okay. So Ms. Patel has applied to be, and she's not before us, so we really need to hear back from her. The lack of communicate, or the communication barrier is a little bit of a concern. If there were an issue, it'd be very difficult to rectify that issue. I'm very interested in meeting and speaking with Ms. Patel, who we are giving the license to. That's all I have.
Ms. Patel was actually, she arranged the trip to be here for the hearing in December. The Indian wedding is a long process somehow, so she made an arrangement to be here for December hearing. So she was here, and we heard it from the city actually the day before the hearing that, sorry, there was a mistake, we can't be on the December agenda, we have to come back in January. But she had to go back to January after the hearing. So Ms. Pope told us that it will be okay for other partner to be here tonight since she cannot make it. She already pre-arranged everything for that Indian wedding back in country. That's the reason why she couldn't be here.
Right, but the issue to me is this is our opportunity as the council to kind of review and make sure that the manager kind of knows what's going on and has familiarity with it, and will do X, Y, and Z according to the code. And although we had a mistake, I'm very concerned about making that decision, and I just speak for myself, not the entire council, but I'm very concerned about making that decision without actually speaking with the applicant manager versus, you know, an owner who has a difficulty, you know, with the language. If our officers had to go out, based upon what I'm seeing, if our officers had to go out and there was an issue, it'd be very difficult to manage that issue. And for me personally, I would really like the opportunity to speak with Ms. Patel and get her experience and knowledge of the alcohol ordinance and experience with that. Like I said, that's just me. I'm just telling you what I'm feeling. I understand that there's a hiccup with that, but that's where my position is.
Mr. Chairman, another question, please. Mr. Davis, let me make sure that we're clear. This is not Ms. Patel that is before us tonight. Okay. Would you please, sir?
Latabe Takare.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the part owner.
But she will not be the day-to-day outlet manager.
She will be at the she will be at the store working there, but day-to-day manager will be Ms. Patel.
Okay. When will Ms. Patel be back in country? February 13th.
That's the returning date she has.
So then theoretically, if the license were approved, Mr. Chairman, then it would be approved and the store would be open without the outlet manager being there.
We still need to go ahead and get the state license, and that takes some time. And by the time she gets here, that's probably the time when we'll be able to get the state license.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
I did,
Madam
Mr.
Mayor?
Chairman. I apologize. I just, in line with what Councilman Adams was asking, Ms. Yo, the Fairburn Road, is there the lease, is there an agreement? Have you had a down payment or?
It was already turned into with the application. City has a copy of the lease.
Okay, so is the lease pending on your approval?
Everything's pending on the alcohol license application and everything, yes. And also, we cannot take over the business and operate until Ms. Patel comes back because the closing has to be done with her. Mm-hmm. So anyways, we won't be able to operate the business until she comes back. So if you're worried about that issue, it's not going to happen.
Mr. Chairman, I was just wondering, should we postpone the vote until we have a chance to have the owner, the outlet manager whose name is going to be on the license, or is that necessary? I'm just asking, based on Mr. Miller's concerns also.
Part of your motion on Monday, you can decide if you want to table on Monday or not.
But come back on Monday, and we have a chance to, any other question before? Just come back on Monday, we have a chance to discuss it and talk to our legal department, because you all got some time. And you said she's not coming back to February 13th, and you all haven't closed on the building yet?
Yeah, but we do need some time to actually process the state license application. That's why more it gets delayed. Our closing's gonna go into like March, April. So that's really a big concern on us if this hearing's gonna be postponed to sometime end of January or February. Yeah. I mean, one thing maybe we can do is call her and ask her to fly back for this Monday, because we really need to get this going to apply for the state application. So we were really hoping to get on the agenda for December. That's why she was here, but she couldn't make it today since it was.
That'll be expensive for her to fly back. We'll talk among ourselves, and we'll just come back on Monday.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And get a little more verification, a little more clarification.
Okay.
And who's going to be the agent outlet manager there. And, Madam Mayor, we just put this on the agenda for Monday.
Yes, sir. We apologize for the inconvenience. Of
For
course, you know
December?
this is alcohol. It's very serious, so we don't take it lightly. So we really have to
he
make a
was
somber
just saying
decision.
she already flew back actually from India for the hearing in December. So this will be actually second time coming back for the hearing.
Mr. Chairman, just real quick, I probably could find it if I scrolled through all this information. Is she a resident Oh,
She's here, but it's, the wedding itself in India, I don't know if he can explain to you, but I couldn't understand either. But there is a custom that when there's a big family wedding, it's like months.
Yeah, it takes months.
Wedding,
It's 3
yeah.
months.
all right. I was just curious if she heard a lot of moving and flying and whatnot.
Because
so,
it's a
okay.
family wedding, it's just how it is in India, yes.
I got you.
And she already flew one time already in the month of December,
Yeah.
just for the purpose of hearing. only.
Yeah.
The custom, the celebration is
Yeah.
3
6
months.
days
Yes.
she came here, but
Yes.
she had to go back, I
Okay.
think, so.
Okay.
So we'll come back on Monday.
Yes, ma'am,
Thank you.
please
Okay.
do, and
Thank you so much.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, our next item is item B, adopt a resolution declaring the police cannon known as craft to be devalued at the less than $500 and authorized transfer to the animal to its handler in exchange for a signed waiver of liability. Davidson,
Yes, Mr. Canine.
come on down.
Crack.
Hello, J.R. Davidson, 2083 Fairburn Road, Douglasville, Georgia. Canine Crack is about a 7.5-year-old Belgian Malinois who is at the end of its service life because of some health problems. So at this point, we're going to be retiring the dog to his handler.
Who's his hand? Who's his hand?
Enos, Officer Enos.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
Yes, I did, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am, Madam
Major
Mayor.
Davidson, you're going to apply for a new canine?
We are in the process right now. We just did that today.
Very good.
Yes.
And you'll have one per shift or zone?
We have, yes, one per shift on patrol, and then we also have one on the fines unit on the interstate.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Is that it?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's put it on, we'll put it back on the agenda for Monday, just for further discussions about the K-9.
Okay.
Okay, item C, request for the alcoholic beverage license for the retail package sale of wine and malt beverages at the following establishment: Licensing Racetrack Petroleum Inc., DBA Racetrack number 688, location 1211 Thornton Road, proposed agent outlet manager, Kenny Rodriguez. And the required fees has been paid into the finance department. Will applicant please come down to represent Racetrack? State your name and all the above.
Good evening. My name is Kenny Rodriguez. My residence is at 1014 Balsam Trail, Villa Rica, Georgia, 30180.
Okay, so when is your planning date to open up?
The most recent planning date was pushed back to March 6th.
Okay. And just beer and malt beverages. Any question from the applicant? Any question from the council? Mayor?
The procedures for checking for appropriate age for drinking and all of that, your training.
We have three levels that we follow. One is they do a training, 2-day orientation in a lab where they actually learn how to check licenses and all that. In the store, we actually do audits. We have a third party come in and actually check licenses and all that, see if they pass or fail.
Yes, sir.
And we also get certified as well as managers.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's a nice racetrack. Thank you, and come back on Monday, okay?
All right, thank you.
That's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. We'll move on to Community and Economic Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have one item. That's to appoint 6 members of the Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board seeking reappointment to 3 at-large posts: Rick Jefferson, Patty Wink, and Travis Landrum; Hotel 1 post, Devin Smith; Restaurant 2 representative, Daniel Cox; and City Representative, Kelly Hunter, with each post to have a term beginning on January 1st, 2018 and expiring on December 31st, 2019.
Mr. Committee Chairman, you all interviewed these individuals in the last time that we met in your 5 o'clock session. These are reappointments, and if you are interested in having them move forward, then you would confirm their vote on Monday night.
Now, I know Mr. Miller wasn't on the council when Mr. T. Miller wasn't on the council when we interviewed them, but he was in the committee room. So although he didn't get to ask questions, he got to hear everything. The resumes are all attached to our agenda, if you want to spend the weekend reading them all.
Looking forward to it.
Great. But if there's no objections, I'd like to place this on the consent agenda for Monday. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. We'll move on to Planning and Development Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mark Adams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have
Welcome.
2 items tonight under Planning and Development Committee, and I wanted to make sure that Mr. Siegel knew that I had done this specifically for him so that he doesn't have to worry about those Tuesday meetings at 4:30 in the afternoon every other week.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now that you have assumed that position. Adopt an ordinance to repeal subsection 1.04.03B, item 4 of Appendix B, the Development Code Ordinance, and to amend subsections 9.02.01A, 9.03.01, 9.03.02B, and 9.05.01E of that ordinance, to remove the authority of the Planning and Development Committee to approve development plans, and to provide that these shall be approved exclusively by the mayor and city council. This was something that we had discussed for several months as our workload had increased, Madam Mayor, as far as a separate meeting for that committee on Tuesdays at 4:30. Also, there was some concern at one point in the last year that possibly the entire council was not kept abreast of items that may have been coming up and felt as though they needed to know about it rather than just that 5-member committee. So we have brought forward this proposal, and we will be voting on this on Monday night to adopt it, to where we would actually do away with the Planning and Development Committee and its purpose and have the full council and mayor hear all of that. So if there's any question or comment, let's talk about it. Okay. I won't ask that be put on the consent agenda, but we'll take that up on Monday night. Second item B, hold a public hearing and consider a request for a variance to reduce the required 397 parking spaces for an office-warehouse facility in subsection 4.05.01 of the Development Ordinance for a variance of 181 parking spaces for a remaining requirement of 216 parking spaces on a lot of 25.84 acres at 7555 Wood Road in land lot 163, District 2, Section 5, Parcel 21. Application by Dan Latz, SL Bright Star 2, LLC. Is there anyone here to represent that application, please? If so, come forward. This being a public hearing, we are required to hear from both those in support of and those that may be opposed to it. The applicant will have 30 minutes in order to present this public hearing information and his request, and then we will have 5 minutes per person after that. I believe that's correct, Ms. Acker, for those that may be wanting to speak for or against. So, sir, would you please give us your name and address for the record, and we'll go forward.
Yep, thank you, sir. My name is Howard Ray. I'm with HRC Engineers, 6554 East Church Street, Douglasville, Georgia. I'm here as the representing the applicant. They are actually stuck in New Jersey. They'll be here in the morning, but basically this is a spec building. It's phase 3. You may remember the zoning case. It's a continuation of what they're calling their Bright Star Logistics Center, phase 1 and 2 being Anderson Windows. This is a spec building set up for distribution. Their game plan right now, or their market plan, is for it's basically being marketed to 4 different tenants within this one building of 330,000 square foot. So basically, when we run through the math, the long and short of it, the auto car parks comes up to the 397. We actually have 464 total spaces, but 255 of those, and make sure, I hope I get my math right here, is for truck parking. Okay, so they're not truly auto car parks. So at the end of the day, the code, the way we interpret the code, is more set up toward manufacturing and distribution. In other words, it's more holistic to that industry versus this being just specifically a distribution center. So that is really the basic need. Is we we're trying to produce more truck parking than car parks.
So the marketing would be for it to be used as a distribution center, and in saying that, then the variance has been requested for that purpose, correct?
Correct.
Based upon knowledge that we have, and Mr. Mettler, I may need Mr. Mettler to help me here because I'm not aware of what those requirements are, but I'm assuming that, Mr. Mettler, this has been presented and reviewed by your department and as they have brought it forward. So any question that we might have, we may want to ask Mr. Mettler for his opinion on this. A distribution center being one that would then require much fewer people working in the facility, therefore much less needed parking. Is that correct, sir? It's my question. I just need to make clarification of that because this is a large variance.
Michael Mettler, development official, 6695 Church Street. Yes, sir, that is. Much fewer employees are required for distribution than it would be for manufacturing.
And okay, just want to make sure that we have that clarification. Any questions of council?
Yes. This is, Howard, this is a continuation of the Bright Star area that has been cleaned out, and phase one was going to put 100 trucks on the Highway 5 intersection, or Inter 5 exchange, correct? And then phase two, which y'all asked for together, was going to put an additional 100 trucks on the Highway 5 exchange and intersection. Is that correct?
I want to say it was 250 total, so maybe 150 in a second. It was in the 200, 250 total for both phase one and two.
Okay, so far our variance and application change has added thus far 250 are those tractor trailer trucks?
Yes.
250 tractor trailer trucks down Highway 5 to the Highway 5 I-20 interchange?
I don't have the traffic study in front of me, but it seems like there was something like 17% that went to Post Road was the model.
Okay. And
you're all over the numbers.
Okay. So, and since that time, I think I was out of town and was not here for the presentation, but since that time, there's been a 330,000 square foot manufacturing and or distribution center that has been applied for as well and granted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the trucks, you're asking for a change in parking spaces, but that is basically change from a normal car parking space to at least add an additional 250 trucks parking spaces. Are those tractor trailer trucks?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay.
255. That includes the dock space as well as the truck parking around the building.
Okay, so although we didn't know what we were putting in to that area, when we allowed the 330,000 square foot manufacturing and distribution center in there, we knew it was going to be tractor trailers, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that point in time, was there a presentation on how many tractor trailers was going to be associated with what was going in that 330,000 square foot building?
I know there was. I don't remember the number offhand. I mean, just from an educated guess, which obviously I feel like hopefully I'm that person. I would think that distribution would be carrying, if you look at phase one, I think both of those buildings were around 400. Phase two was around 400. So if you're looking, let's just take it easy math on me, 125 and 125, I would assume you're looking at another 125.
Okay.
As an easy math.
So that's some math involved with that. Now, so the parking spaces that are being asked for in this request, is that in addition to the extra 150 tractor trailers, or is that just a place to put an extra 150 tractor trailers? Because you're asking for 200, I didn't write it down, but 257 parking spaces?
Well, let me give you these numbers that I have on my site plan, and maybe it'll be a little clearer, and then I'll try to answer your question, make sure I answer it. So we're planning to provide 208 car parks. Okay, and that's where the 181, I think, variance numbers coming from. Okay, and then we've got 255 truck parks and dock space.
Okay, so when you first applied, you were asking for 181 car parking spaces?
Reduction.
Reduction, okay. Okay.
Correct, Mike? Is that saying that right? So the car park is what we're asking to bring down.
And adding to.
Already there.
My interpretation of the code, it doesn't really specify car parks and auto and truck parks. You know, in other words, it's sort of parking. So we're trying to show you what it's actually going to be versus saying, you know, here's what X is required, we're giving Y. You know, we're trying to say, so it's my interpretation, Mike, and hopefully can clarify if I state this wrong, is that to make it clear, we're showing that there's a reduction in the car parks, because I think truck-wise, I think we're meeting the code.
Okay, I got you. So just for my clarification, 100 trucks from the first phase, 150 trucks from the second phase. How many trucks from this third distribution center that's being 250?
I would guess, you know, around that 100 to 150 being, looking at them each about, all three buildings being about the same size. That would be Mike, and I'll just be honest with you, I know we presented that, the owner presented that truck count, I don't remember.
But we're looking somewhere between 400 and 500 trucks a day going into that Highway 5 road into that intersection. Minus 17 to 15 to 20%.
I'd say 300 to 400, yes, sir.
Okay, so 300 or 400 trucks going down that street. Do you, as a representative of Brightstar, Brightstar 2 LLC, are y'all anticipating additional zoning changes, or are y'all, basically what I'm asking, y'all gonna put any more trucks on our roads over there? Are y'all gonna ask to put any more trucks on the roads over there?
Not to my knowledge, but that doesn't mean I don't know, Mike, to be honest. I have not been made aware of any additional properties being acquired.
Okay. Well, obviously my concern, I think I've made this patently clear throughout this whole process, is how many trucks we are putting into the Highway 5 exchange that we do not control, we do not have money for, and is already a problem for our constituents. This is my ward. And I'm very concerned, there's already an issue trying to get through those intersections, and you all keep asking to add hundreds of tractor trailer trucks to that intersection with no idea of how we're going to improve that intersection.
Correct.
That concerns me. And I would hope that it would concern the rest of this council. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
I got a question. Mr. Ray, I know you're just the engineer, but are you privy to the information of what the hours of operation will be for this center?
I'm sure it'll be 24/7.
24/7?
Yes, sir.
Does this not fall under the ARC's projections? Has that been verified that it?
They sent a report. They sent an impact study. ARC did.
Mike, and I share the concerns of the other Councilman Miller, in that, every morning I take my son to school on that road, and it's over just the last year, it's been getting progressively worse. I'm just simply getting out of ARPA Station. The line is getting longer each day. Yes, Mr. Ray.
What I would say is that we did go through Greta for phase 1 and 2 because it met the threshold. This one does not, but they looked at it, and basically they did show problems at, we hit the expedited review process, okay? And I'm going to try to summarize this and not get too technical, so stop me if I get down that road. So instead of doing what they call the 7% rule, we were limited to, I think, 12 intersections, which was Brightstar Connector and Brightstar, our intersection of our driveway at Wood Road, Brightstar at 5, and then I want to say maybe Gurley and 5. Even though that's really not, we don't really access that road. But basically, when we looked through that, Greta came out, or through our traffic study and Greta's review, we acknowledge that there's issues at Bright Star and Bright Star Connector, as well as there's issues at 78 and Bright Star. But Greta said that we should only improve our driveway left out, left in, and a right out, because both 78 and Bright Star and Bright Star and Bright Star Connector already had problems that we were not making significant worse, or whatever the right words is. They basically felt like that was already an issue that had plans to address them. Now, we all know just because it's on the plan doesn't mean it's getting built, right? I mean, think how long 92 took. But they held us to that. During the zoning of phase 1 and 2, at the direction of the council, I guess it might have been the development plan, so please tell me if I get this wrong. They sent us and asked us to work with Douglas County DOT, and we are now improving roughly 3,000 lineal feet from the connector north to the top of the hill and making a 3-lane section, that whole part of Bright Star Connector. So although we're not addressing the issue that you guys are mentioning, I just want to let you know that is what is entailed in being included in this development so far.
I know that the city police department has been cracking down lately on folks who are parked in the box, as they call it, at the Bright Star interchange. I'm not looking forward to seeing tractor trailers parked in the box. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other?
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to address the issue before us with this variance with the parking. So, Mr. Metler, we aren't changing the schematics for the parking. We're just extending, if you have like a huge car, but it actually is an 18-wheeler truck. So the diagram that we have, it's still the same. It's just they're allocating 255 spaces for trucks and the other 187 for cars.
Our development code requires that we provide one parking space, and it doesn't delineate whether it's tractor trailer or private vehicle. One parking space per 1,000 square feet. This building is 330,000 square feet, and there's also an office element which has another multiplier of 1 car for every 250 square feet of parking space. That's subtracted out of the 330,000. The density obviously is a little bit higher for the office space. There has been a running complaint with a lot of developers regarding our code, and I have discussed that with Jacobs Engineering and also with my previous director, Mr. Lynn, that our parking requirements are very restrictive when it comes to large buildings like this, and to provide one parking space per 1,000 square feet of warehouse. If you stop and observe what is in the warehouse, it's pallet stacking and racking, which diminishes the actual square footage that a human can actually move around. A lot of these warehouses are highly mechanized with conveyor systems. They have maybe a half a dozen pickers using conveying systems between racking for small items, and then pallet trucks and the like for actual picking of larger items. Actual occupancy in any given shift, and it was brought home when we were talking to Keehee over on Riverside Parkway. They have 17 distribution facilities throughout the United States. They have highly mechanized their facilities, and they realized that our parking requirements were through the roof, and they appealed to me to consider their parking requirements, and yet they had the real estate to make the necessary parking spaces. You go by their private parking areas, and you'll see that it looks vacant.
Yes.
Because they have 127, I think, at the highest shift level, or 24/7 operation. Their graveyard shift has 27. So in this instance here, where we required 330 private parking spaces, or parking spaces in general, we would have vacant parking spaces throughout the lot.
Okay. So maybe, Mr. Chairman, as we looked at the zoning board and the frequency or infrequency, or whether we should meet or not, maybe we should look at our codes to see how we can better serve if we have making delineation between cars and trucks, so that we won't have variance coming before us again with this discussion.
And possibly to see what ratio we need if we're talking about a distribution center rather than an office warehouse, make a differentiation between the two. Yes, Mr. Stegall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ray, what is Plan B if the council denies this variance application?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure, sir. I mean, my guess is that they would obviously have to start shrinking the building and build a parking field, but, you know, on quick calculations to meet the code, we're looking at over 50% or almost 13 acres of parking.
No room on the roof to put a parking structure?
I could go underground.
Thank you.
If we could count it as detention, we might could do that.
Okay, any other questions of council from Mr. Ray? If not, is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this application, of this variance, I'm sorry? If not, is there anyone here that would speak in opposition to this? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and we will come back on Monday night and consider this item in our 6 o'clock meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That's all that I have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Parks and Recreation Committee, that's chaired by Councilmember Chris Watts.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight under Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, sir. Finance Committee Chair, Councilman Mark Adams. The purse strings.
No business tonight.
Thank you,
Mayor,
sir.
thank you.
Information and Technology Committee, welcome. Councilmember Terry Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have
Welcome.
2 items tonight. The first item is to authorize the mayor to sign a volume licensing agreement with Microsoft Corporation for use of several Microsoft products, including Office 365, associated client access licenses, remote desktop licenses, and server operating systems. We have
Nathan Todd, 6695 Church Street, IT technician, City of Douglasville. What we have before you tonight is not quite a renewal, but the new Microsoft Enterprise Agreement that does govern all of our software, like Mr. Miller says here. It will include Office 365, which is our replacement for on-premises Exchange and our Office product. So email and the Office software we'll be using. It also covers all the licenses for our servers and then the licensing for the computers that connect out at the computer lab at Jesse Davis Park.
Do you have any questions from the council?
Mr. Chairman, are the servers going to go down and emails down and stuff like
All the time.
It's going to be much better?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Basically, this right now we're operating on our current EA agreement. This is the discounted price to upgrade to the newest version of everything, so that we stay up to date with patches and updates, and hopefully protect all our data in the best way possible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further questions or comments? Well, this is a very controversial topic. If there's no objections, I'm going to see if we can put this on the consent agenda. Second item is authorize the mayor to sign a member agreement with Center for Internet Security, Inc. for membership in the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center for information sharing, analysis, gathering, and distribution concerning Internet security. Mr. Todd.
MSISAC is a trade organization for government and other information systems. Basically what this is, it will allow us to share information with other organizations to stay apprised of any threats in the electronic forum that come to light, so that if one organization intercepts something, we all get the information and we all get the methods to fight.
Any questions or discussion from the council? All right. Again, thank you, Mr. Todd. And again, I don't want to get into a big debate here, but if there are no objections, I would like to put this on the consent agenda as well. Thank you. I have no further items, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Item 11 is Maintenance and Sanitation Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, chaired by Councilmember LaShawn Danley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just one item. Appoint 2 candidates and a city employee to fill the city's representative seats on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee with a 2-year term to expire January 31st, 2020. Ms. Wright?
Thank you. Michelle Wright, 6695 Church Street, in Douglasville, Georgia, Planning Department. These interviews will take place on Monday at your 5 o'clock meeting. And then, excuse me, and then you will be able to appoint.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. And just looking at the attachment, looks like these are the two applicants that have actually been on for quite some time. So it should be pretty easy and quickly. All right, since we will interview on Monday, I have no other items under transportation, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Danley. We'll move on to Personnel and Organization Committee. That's chaired by Councilmember Richard Siegel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Ordinance and Intergovernmental Committee, chaired by Councilmember Mike Miller.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have no business tonight.
Thank you, sir. Education and Training Committee, chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis.
Madam Mayor, we have no business tonight. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Communications Committee, that's also chaired by Councilmember Samuel Davis. You have anything in the new Communications Committee, Mr. Chairman?
Wow, I had to get used to it. No business tonight, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We will open the floor for any other business, and before I open it for the council, I would say under other business for myself, I know it was written in the Chapel Hills News and Views that the state of the city should have been shown tonight, but we are going to do something different this year, so we'll ask you to stay tuned, but we will do the state of the city this first quarter, and the document will be printed within the next week, but we'll have the state of the city the end of January or the beginning of February. And we also have a state of the city and the county that will be presented in April with the Council for Quality Growth. And we'll have that presentation at the Chamber annual monthly event. So we'll have a joint state and county, city and county state of the welfare of the city and in the county for Douglasville, Douglas County. Now open the floor for any other business from council members.
Madam Mayor, I just want to say thank you for introducing us, and it's an honor to be back and to serve the city of Douglasville again, and I'm especially excited to work with this fantastic group of people up here. I think the city is very well blessed with the folks that are representing her, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. We are so very excited to have you on the city council. We'll miss Councilman Yaki, of course, but we look forward to the expertise that you bring to the table in your architectural background and planning and the other part of your brain, which is the creative side for liberal arts. So we're excited about that for acting and drama and to help us with entertainment in that new downtown development piece that we have, inclusive of the amphitheater and all of those other exciting things that we've been talking about that's featured in the Chapel Hills News and Views January edition. So welcome so much, Councilman Miller. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to congratulate those council members who were sworn in this evening. I'm going to have to get used to pivoting back and forth to see everybody from where you're sitting. You just have to look one direction. So, and I just want to say I am humbled and honored to be chosen to serve as Mayor Pro Tem for 2017. And I hope to be doing a good job at it. Let me know if you need me to do something a little different. I'm open to constructive criticism. Thank you. That's all I have.
Yes, sir. All right, the new Mayor Pro Tem. Now, you know, I jokingly say you're the checker who checks the checker, but you know you are, so it'll be fine. No, they're not going to check you. Any other comments, council members? Well, we're excited to have the new year here, and we'll go through the rest of our items, and I believe we have a reception. It was delayed, of course, because we had that fire extinguisher or fire drill, which was, so we're a little bit behind. City Attorney, Mr. Joel Dotson.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much, sir. Chief Assistant City Attorney, Ms. Susan Littlefield.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief of Police, the chief isn't here, but we have Major Davison.
No business, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, sir. City Manager, Ms. Marsha Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. Just say Happy New Year. Welcome
Happy
to
New Year.
the first meeting of the year. Just to remind you all that next week we actually have 2 meetings. On Monday, you will have your voting meeting on January 8th, and then you will have your legislative work session on Thursday night, the 11th, which we are starting early at 4 p.m. So committee meetings. So you escaped committee meetings tonight, but you're going to catch up next week. All right. That's all I have.
Yes, ma'am. And we have a retreat coming in Mayor's Day, so we have those trainings to look forward to. Comments from citizens and delegates. Now the floor is open. If any of the citizens that are remaining in the audience would like to address the council and myself, the floor is open. We'd love to hear from you. If you come to the podium, please give us your name and address for the record, and we are excited to hear from you if you have anything to say. No? You're waiting for the cake. Okay. Staff reports. We have any staff reports? Thank you. Is there any other business to come before council tonight? Thank you. Not seeing any, then this meeting is adjourned.